Reality Team TV. We're back with Lewis Sycamore. How you doing, my bro?
I'm good, all good. Just chilling. End of the year.
End of the year, man. End of the year. It's like this. I also want to make this conversation. It's like a celebration kind of thing where, like you said, we're ending another year. You know, we're healthy. You got what I'm trying to say? We're healthy.
Wealthy.
You know, like we could be thinking about other things like, you know, we could have achieved this, achieved that. But again, to just fully take it back into normal reality, we're here and we're blessed to see another day after tomorrow. You get me?
Yes. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, man.
That's nice, man. Yeah.
Yeah. That, trust me, we have to be, you know, we have to give thanks. But how you feeling though? Like, you know, like for the people that obviously are getting to watch this conversation for the first time, you know, like, what do you do? Let's get straight into it. You know, let the people know like what you do and we get a cracking from there.
Yeah, so I do music, I'm an actor, and I do videography on a video production company.
Yeah.
Yeah, the three stressful ones.
Which one came first?
The acting came first. A while back. I've been acting for like 5, 6, let me sound old, 7 years maybe, 6, 7 years. I started off in musical theatre actually, very randomly. Used to dance a lot and then sort of switched over from dancing to acting kind of just before COVID hit, which was probably the worst time to try and switch over. So I'd say the acting was my initial push into sort of the creative side of life.
You said dancing.
Yes.
Like what type of dancer was you?
So I trained musical theatre, so we kind of did a bit of everything. But really I was contemporary / street dancer, depending on where the money was, what jobs were needed. That was it. Whatever dancing paid me really at that point.
I want to talk about theatre as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, because obviously when people talk about theatre, for me, the first thing that comes to mind is like entertainment, right? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, when you talk about theatre, there's so many different aspects that come with, you know, that theatre, like acting, dancing, basically, like I said, so many things under the umbrella of entertainment, right? Like, when was the first time you got involved into like, you know, into that world of, you know, theatre just in general?
Oh, long time back actually. Yeah, like maybe like drama clubs when I was, I don't know, 10. Drama clubs when I was about 10. I joined a group, MYT, which is the Millfield Youth Theatre.
Big up MYT.
Yeah, MYT. When I was about 13, I think I joined it.
Yeah.
It was like obviously like a youth theatre. It was run by 2 like working professionals at the time. Which was like a really, really nice, it was a hard intro because obviously they were working professionals, so they would run it and sort of keep us in line, similar to how professionals would try and keep you in line. But I think that's really sort of helped me now going through all the musical theatre training, into the acting, into the music, into the videography, like the professionalism of it that they sort of instilled from the get-go. Lizzie and Stu, if you're watching.
Yeah. And also with acting as well, yeah? Like we spoke of camera. Acting is just, you know, you make music, and you act. And like you said, you know, now you're also into filming, you know, like you do a lot of, you know, filming. I wanna, like, when it comes to acting, like, once again, yeah, like, what do you want to get from acting? Like, what would you like to achieve in acting? Because when I speak to a lot of different actors, again, I'm a curious person, innit? Hence why I have these conversations. And when I think about acting, like, I just assume when I speak to a lot of different actors, like, one of my favorite, like, questions is just, like, to be curious, to just ask them, like, what would you like to get from acting? Would you like to be a famous actor? Would you like to get known for, you know, like, for landing an iconic role? Or, like, you know, would you like to get known for a certain genre of movies? You know, like, for example, you got people like, randomly, Phil Mitchell in EastEnders, right?
Yeah.
People who have been in EastEnders for years and years and years, and they made a career out of one character.
Yes.
They've never gone elsewhere.
Yeah.
They've just literally stuck there. Ian Bill, them kind of people. So even, sorry to go even, like, you know, full circle, but to ask you, like, with your acting, what would you like to, you know, to get out of your acting career?
I don't think I'd want to be known for one character.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know exactly what you mean with that, and I don't know. I feel like that seems like people know the character more than they know me as a sort of multi-talented, you know, across the board of genres of sort of different acting. I'd say my goal is really to become someone who can embody different roles and like sort of give people emotions. So like be able to be in films and be in projects that can cause an emotional reaction sort of to the audience. Even not as deep as that, or just to bring some positivity to people's lives. Like just, you know how it is sometimes when you're watching a film and it's just that you're just having a good day. Yeah. It's just like, you know, the people that made that film are sort of giving you that experience of we're just having a good time, really.
Yeah. Do you go for like auditions?
Yes, yeah. It's a lot of self tapes now. Since COVID, there's a lot of it's self tape more than in person auditions.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't understand what is self taping yourself as an actor, yeah, could you explain it to them exactly how it goes?
So I'll get from my agent, I'll get a brief from sort of a casting director.
Yeah.
That will give me the outline of sort of a script or a scene or a concept that someone wants to work, depending on how much information they want to give out. Some people don't like to give a lot of information at all.
Why is that quickly? Why is that actually?
I think it's just because they send out so many things to so many actors that if you give out a lot of information, it's sort of like a Marvel project, for example, they're quite closed off.
Okay.
So they don't want to give out the real script in case stuff gets leaked, or you know how it is. Even if it's something that you look at and you think this is not important, but it'll be important to their whole grand scheme of we've got these 10 movies coming out and this one little bit means this and this and this. So they'll send out sort of the scripts or bits of scripts or fake scripts sometimes. Yeah. And really it's just you taping yourself in front of the camera at home, trying to embody the role that you're given. Sometimes you want someone to talk to, if it's a scene with the dialogue. If not, sort of monologue it to the camera. Sometimes it's literally just actions. They just want to see your face and how you look on camera. You record it yourself, cut it up, send it off, and then the casting director sort of looks at it and judges if they want to see you in person, or if sometimes you literally just straight off the bat from a self-tape straight into the role, which is crazy when it happens actually.
Yeah. Do you find, because interesting, now I'm thinking, because for me, again, like I said, I thought still like people just literally done, you know, like face-to-face auditions, like the old school way, how people usually do it.
Yeah.
Like for you, if you had to choose one, which one do you prefer? Like self-tape or like live auditions?
I think it's hard. That's a hard one because they're both good for different things.
Yeah, so to even because I'm thinking about it where it's like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, innit? We live in a generation where we've got these phones, innit? Where it's like, I think people are used to, you know, having these phones in their faces, filming themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, I feel like if I was an actor, I would have actually preferred self-taping myself rather than, because I feel like it's a little bit more intimidating when you're actually in person, like, you know, like auditioning right. Imagine if I'm auditioning right in front of you and you're looking at me right in my face, in my soul, and I'm like,
panel.
You get me?
Yeah.
You get me? So that's what I'm thinking. So for you, like, what would you prefer? Oh, like you said, like, it doesn't really make any difference.
No. It's a big difference, right, man? It's a big difference. It's you're right. With the self tapes, it's a bit easier. You've got multiple choices as well. You mess up the first take. You can do a couple, 3, 4, 5, 6, as many as as many as you want. It's a time thing. So self tape, I find, is a lot easier with time. Yeah. Like you can do 2, 3 in a day quite easily within an hour, because as long as you know what you're doing and you've got the script and you've learnt it, you're good to just sort of shoot it, cut it up. When you're ready, send them off. You know, look over them. Whereas in person, it's a bit more, you mess up maybe 1 or 2 times, they're giving you another chance. But I do feel personally, I feel like I come across better in person than just on the screen. So I like the in-person ones because you have a bit of a talk first and maybe the director's there, maybe the director likes you and that's why you got the job more so than just your take. Because they think, you know what, I can work with him.
Yeah.
As opposed to on a tape, it's just, do I like his take? That's all you've got. They might look at, 20 of those back to back and yours has just gone forgotten about already.
Like, also with the with the science of acting as well, touching on the science of the acting, like I always have to also think to myself as well, like when I speak to certain people as well and I ask them like, is there certain roles that you wouldn't act, certain roles that you wouldn't take up? Because obviously as an actor, there's so many different things, so many different roles you can play, to a crazy man, to a lover, to anything in between. Like for you, have you thought of that? Like in terms of like in future, the more obviously your career takes off, if there's like a certain specific role or roles that you would never take up, regardless whatever, because it might be because of your, like your morals, your beliefs, whatever you get onto the second. I feel like that's one of the most
Yes.
important questions. I feel like any actor should ask themselves. Like the more like the more they move forward in their careers. Say
Yeah.
like for you, like is there any?
I wouldn't say like a specific genre or anything that I wouldn't do. It'd be more, as you say, like a moral thing. It'd be looking at the script, what it's trying to portray. Like those films where it's like there's a clear goal you've got with this, the message you're trying to put across, and it's like that doesn't really sit well with me in that way. So a good example is like, do you remember Django when that came out?
Yeah.
And I think it was offered to Will Smith first. He said he turned it down because he didn't want to do another slave film. Admittedly, I know he's gone on to do Emancipation and it was a slave film. But his whole thing was, he was like, if we make it a love film and it's just set in that time, he'd potentially consider doing it.
Yeah.
Where he was like, I don't want to just make a slave movie to just portray slavery. And I think like those sort of things is where it would be, but it's not like I wouldn't be in a film set in that time period. It'll just be, I'm not doing a film that's just promoting slavery in a weird submersive way of this is all the culture had before, because it's not like
even talking about slavery and these kind of movies, like I always say to myself, like if something has already been done and documented, what does it need to be repeated in different ways? Like what kind of message are they trying to to get to us? Because we know the message and we've already know the history, so it's like, if you're gonna keep on shooting different movies in different ways that portrays the same message, what are you really trying to achieve?
That's those sort of things. As I said, I wouldn't say I would never do a slavery film or a film set around that time period, but I feel like it would have to be very specific as to like what I'm quite similar with, like like the hood genre. For like it's
it depends what your role is going to be.
It depends what the whole why it's set in the hood as well. Like, because sometimes it's just to show badness. And it's like, well, I get it, but also I get it because people want to watch it. Also, as a whole, I feel like it's quite it's quite like bad for the culture as a whole, because then it creates the culture that people see outside of London. You look in on London, and that's all it is apparently. But
what are your thoughts? Even
it's not.
Even in a quick one, what are your thoughts on Top Boy?
I liked it. I really did. I'm gonna be honest. As I say, like I understand it's very watchable. I say I really enjoyed it, but I think Top Boy had something special about it. It showed multiple sides. It wasn't just hood for hood's sake. I feel like some shows are just hood for hood's sake. There's a Swedish show I watched called Snabba Cash, which just means quick money, I think, quick cash. And it was quite similar to Top Boy. I used to call it, tell people to watch it's a Swedish Top Boy. But it was quite similar, like it showed the struggle and why people were doing some badness, why like the relations of, oh, you're this person's brother or you're this person's sister, and that's why you're just involved unintentionally. You really don't want to be there either. Like the whole Sully sort of arc, Top Boy, it was like he couldn't get out of it because he didn't know anything different, but also he didn't want to be in it. He knew he was on a badness. It's that, right? And it's like I can get behind it to an extent. But some of it's just badness for badness sake to show it on TV, and I don't know.
to be an actor as well, obviously for you as well, like when do you, because again, like everything that we do, like I assume anyway, like for example, what I'm doing now, when I started doing it, to a certain degree, I knew that I needed to put in a certain amount of work in order for me to consider myself, I'm officially an interviewer. I officially do this, you understand? So for you, like, as an actor, like, do you feel like you're officially an actor yet? Or you feel like you need to put in more work in terms of like, before you can consider yourself like, I'm a proper actor, if you get my logic, if you get
I know exactly what,
like, how's that?
Yeah, I'd say probably some more work. I say like when I introduce myself, I say I'm an actor because that's what I get paid to do. But if I were to say like I'm a serious actor, I'd say a lot more work, a lot more projects before I would consider myself to be an official actor. I know what you mean. I say actor.
An analogy. Is if you're a footballer. For example. You start off you may
amateur
grassroots, and then you go amateur, and then you go
That's
semi-pro,
semi-pro.
and
Bingo.
then you, you know,
Yeah.
pro, and then you get to the big leagues.
Premiership
And
and
it's
all
like,
of
yeah,
that.
I'm
You know what I mean?
a footballer now.
And now
Yeah.
you can only literally kind of put yourself in a big league when you are in a big league.
Yes,
You
yeah,
know,
I'd say it's the
but
same
when
as
you-
that.
When you're still taking the steps, you're still taking the steps.
Yes,
Simply,
yeah.
you know what
I
I
just
mean?
feel like
Like,
there's not the
You know.
there's not the lines for acting as much, but
Yeah.
yeah, I feel yes.
Yeah.
I'd say like semi-pro at this point.
Yeah.
Like I get paid to do it.
Well, there you go.
I do other stuff on the side, but not a big time. Like people are calling me up, like, "Yo, Lewis, you want to be in this project?" Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
one day.
Right.
So, your background once again, yeah, we've got the pleasure to, like I said to you off camera once again as well, yeah, to speak. You know, I know a very big up Brenda, Kelly King, you know, a lovely woman who's mixed with Irish and Jamaican. You know, obviously, you're Irish, you're mixed with Irish, Jamaican, and English, right?
Yes.
And
Oh, wow.
I just want the people, you know, I just want quickly to let the people know, because I feel like a lot of times, you know, that when people like are mixed with a lot of different cultures and that, sometimes on social media, people don't really, some people celebrate it, but I feel like sometimes we need to talk about it a bit more. Where it's like, it's beautiful basically, because my kids are mixed as well, by the way, they've got Jamaican in them as well.
fair.
Yeah. And it's like, sometimes you can even look at anything in life, sometimes you can look at it in a negative or positive way. And it's like, talking about, you know, like your three backgrounds, English, Jamaican and Irish, yeah, like, how do you feel? Just, I know this might sound like a blank, like a random question,
No.
but again, this is Reality Team TV. How do you feel to have three of those mixes, like, you know, in you, like, how do you feel, man?
It's good. It's two sides of it. I feel like it's nice because you feel like there's multiple cultures that you can sort of pay homage to a lot of the time. As I say, like they are three very separate cultures, but they all mix very weirdly well. Like there's a lot of crossovers, so it's nice to be able to like bang out some Irish rap one day. Be listening to Bash, literally on the train on the way here.
That's hard. That's hard.
Like gonna be listening to some Bashment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's nice to be able to feel like you're a part of all of them, but then in the same way, you kind of feel like you're a part of none of them because I feel like it's that mixed race. It's a weird line. Like you're seen in different cultures as different things.
Yeah, and this is another reason why I felt like to bring it up, because like I said, you can either look at it in a beautiful way or a negative way. You got certain people for whatever reason who classify, you know, people who are mixed with different cultures in terms of like, nah, you don't really belong here. You don't really belong there. You don't really belong there. But then at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, like, who gives those people the right to say you don't belong to this culture and you belong to this culture? You get into the same, because at the end of the day, one person doesn't make a culture. A vast majority of people make a culture. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, like, even like growing up in the UK, like, you know, like, have you, obviously people sometimes when I speak to people, I find out new things, innit? Yeah. So like, did you grow up in this country?
Yeah.
What area did you grow up in?
Cheshunt, Hertfordshire.
Oh, is that where you actually grew up in Cheshunt?
Whole life.
Jeez. Yeah? Okay, cool.